What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with a great brother and sister from the YouTube channel Black Acres of the Gambia, Rick and Cynthia. If you ever watch their channel, they're Black Americans like a lot of you, like myself, and they have taken their talents to the Gambia. And we want to talk to them about that and how that got started and how they enjoying their best life in the Gambia. So Rick and Cynthia, thank you for joining us on the show today.
All right, thank you.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about how you guys, like I said, how long you guys been together?
You mean together?
Married.
You mean together as, we've been married about 28, 29 years, but we've been together 40 years.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah,
wow,
I was running around in the neighborhood doing what little teenage boys doing, and she looked at him and said, "I'm gonna marry him one day." And I was like, I don't even like girls, And so anyway, man, long story short, hey, we got together and seven kids and grandchildren, and so we've been together a long, long time.
Now, when let me say this for 2020 viewers because they live in a different time period. When he said he said he didn't like girls, or he wasn't thinking about it. He didn't say he didn't like girls. Because Dave, brother, we got to make sure to explain that.
Now I'm gonna clarify. When you're young, at a certain age, you haven't developed the interest in girls yet. And what I was totally interested was in sports. All I wanted to do was go to the NFL. And so if anything interfered with running track or making it to the NFL, I wasn't interested in it. And so when I went off to college and found out, hey, something's going on. Sports ain't everything in life. And so anyway, hey, the interest was there. You know what I'm saying? Sports was secondary.
Awesome. So that's a beautiful thing to see our relationship and definitely, it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing. I'm always happy to see couples, like we have here on the show today, because like I say, in the Black community, that's not, what we're seeing too much anymore.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
And that was people break up any old thing.
Oh yeah, that was more of an encouragement to stay together, because we know that external forces want to drive a wedge between us and separate the strong Black male from the strong Black female, and in so producing strong Black offspring. So we knew that it was bigger than just the two of us and stuff.
Exactly.
And so that's what kept us in there and stuff.
And I didn't see it in my family either. So.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, a little short story. I once, if Mom is watching, she's probably upset at this, but as a little child, you pick up certain things, and so I'm thinking like when we're talking and stuff, girlfriend and boyfriend, that type thing. Catch the girl, kiss the girl type deal. I asked my mom, I said, why are none of my uncles and aunts married at this time? And if they are married, why it's not a strong marriage, or why are they divorcing? And Mom could not answer that. You know what I'm saying? Because basically Mom was separated too, So, things like that kind of hit you when you're little, and little children pick up on that. Why am I not seeing any positive role models as far as husband and wife? And so, something definitely going on there in the community.
So let me ask you a question. So now, you got to the point, you're in the Gambia, but what happened prior to you going to the Gambia? What made you say, you know what, you've been in this country, all your life. I'm pretty sure you can use the same things. And we've produced a podcast called Stop Hiding Behind Our Ancestors. And what that means, and what I meant by that is, we hide behind them in the guise of, well, they built the country, they did this, they did that, they did this, but yet we don't want to build ourselves. We want to live off of their, past building and what was destroyed by the white supremacists, right?
Right.
So what led you up to the point and say, you know what, I didn't had enough. I need to, take my talents to the Gambia.
Right. Well, let me preface that with this. Our ancestors did build America. but it wasn't by choice. It was by enslavement. So there's nothing honorable about building something under duress and being stressed and murdered, raped, and tortured. I don't know how we kind of went off into that tangent, like that's something honorable that we did, being murdered into developing something for our oppressors. And also, I'd like to caveat that with saying a lot of us Africans walked out of the African continent throughout the rest of the planet. So a lot of Africans walked to America voluntarily. They weren't captured and enslaved. So there's two different groups that we need to talk about when we're talking about us as Africans and stuff. The ones that voluntarily walked out of there and the ones that were involuntarily taken out of there and enslaved. Okay, so now what happened to me, which was the final knife in the back, was when they killed that brother over some cigarettes. Big brother,
Eric
I can't
Garner.
remember his name. Exactly. I mean, they're killing so many, you know, it's just like
No,
just
the one in New York, he was selling
Yeah,
cigarettes
Eric
on
Garner.
he was selling cigarettes.
Yes,
Okay. All I know, he was selling cigarettes.
Eric
They put
Garner.
him in that chokehold and they killed him and stuff. And so I just said, hey, you know what? You know, I don't smoke, but I looked at the writing on the wall and said, this thing is going to get worse. So before I go and grab my arms and just you know, kind of go ballistic and stuff like that, let's take a breather, let's get a passport, and let's get the hell out of there and stuff. And so that is the avenue that I chose. Now, you got two options in America. Either you're going to strap up and do what you got to do, battle it out, or you can say, hey, let's get this passport and let's get the hell out of here. There is no middle ground. You can't pray your way out of this. You can't march your way out of this. You can't vote your way out of this. You got either or. And if you want to continue to delude yourself and pass that delusion on to your offspring, that's your choice. But when they killed that brother, I said, hey, man, it's time to get the hell out of here. And I don't know what her final straw was, but that's what it was for me, brother. What was
Actually, you told me what you was doing. We were leaving, and I had no other choice.
right?
Either I was gonna stay here, that's what you told me,
Right.
or go with me, and I chose to go with him.
Right. Now there are a lot of things now, you know, my family, you know, we had 7 kids and it was just mom and dad, and we had grandkids too. And so in order to make it, you know, we had to work around the clock.
Yes.
And then besides that, I had to indulge in certain activity. Now you got to wait to read the book before I divulge that. But I had to do certain activities at night where I had to go out there. And I'm in danger of my life out there doing these certain activities. You know what I'm saying? And so at any time, I could have had a run-in with the authorities and they'll say, hey, what are you doing out here, black man, in the middle of the night doing this and that, you know? So I said, let me take let me see what's going on. And before my ticket comes up, let me get the ticket and get the hell out of here. So I hope you understood what I was trying to say there, brother.
Yeah. You know, you do what you got to do. That's for I don't need no details. You do what you got to do. Some things ain't for people to be knowing. You know, it's just that simple. You know, today some people talk too much. That's about a problem today. We talk too doggone much. But Miss Cynthia, you know something you said that really made me smile is that, you know, you saw your husband say, you know, I had enough. And he said, hey, that's what he wanted to do. I'm going to follow my husband. Because, you know, today you have, you know, at least in the younger generation, you have some, not all, that don't want to respond like you. And yet this is a reason why you've been married 28 years and most of them can't even get married one time.
That's right.
Yes, he's got us this far and no problems. I figured if we go over there, who knows what can come out of it.
Exactly.
And I say he got us this far, he's gonna do the rest. He's gonna take us all the way. And I just said, let's go.
Right. Now she was reluctant now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she was reluctant, but again, you know, I like to look at stuff based off performance and successes. And we've accomplished more over here in 4 short years than we have all 54 years in America. I mean, we never bought substantial amount of land. We never looked at opportunities to send financial wealth into the future generations. We never had the opportunity to sleep comfortably at night.
Yeah.
We never had the chance to say, hey, how could I contribute to a country that doesn't prosecute or ridicule or try to kill me? As a matter of fact, Gambia had something over here where you kind of go out and have to clean up the country on weekends. They don't do it now once they switch presidents. Mm-hmm. But when we first came over here, we was out there just like the Gambians, picking up trash around the thing. And some of the people were looking at it like, what are you doing? We said we feel like we belong. Mm-hmm. You can't do that in America because you're constantly being scrutinized and bombarded with propaganda. So it's kind of hard to fit in. Now we can mentally blank it out because we've done it for so long and we think that's normal. That ain't normal. And so when we come over here, we feel like, hey, anything Gambia asks us to do that'll benefit Gambia as a country and us as residents of the Gambia, man, we'll do it. But in America, totally different story. Totally different story.
Well, let me ask you a question. Basically, what you're talking about is mostly like waste management. Maybe is that a business that's probably open for you? Is waste management?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many.
Everything. Is a business opportunity over here. Waste management. We try to cover on our channel everything that you could possibly think of when you come to the Gambia or the African continent. Because when we were coming over, man, we wanted to know, hey, how you take the trash out? How's the trash situation? What if you got pets? What if you got like health issues? We tried to cover every aspect that you could possibly think of when you go to another country or if, whatever the case may be. And so we go to the dump to dump our trash. Some people just dump theirs on the side of the road. Some people burn theirs, but we actually take ours to the dump. And when you go out there, you see all type of recyclable enterprises, tires, plastic, glass, rubber. Just a litany of things. The African continent is wide open. Yeah. And it's not just West Africa, the Gambia, it's the continent wide.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm start throwing some questions at you that people always say. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you done heard them too, but I'm doing it just because I know some of the answers, but I'm presenting to you because you Black Americans has been in this America a long time and you took your talents to the Gambia. Okay. Right. So if a Black person says, well, why should we leave America if we build this country? Why should we go all the way over to the Gambia? What do you say to that Black person?
Well, I would say, check out the news. Check out the news. Now, you don't want to leave, and they know this. So they're going to do any and everything that they want to do to you because what? They know you're not going to leave. You know what I'm saying? And so you can fixate your mind and say, I'm not going to leave irregardless. And when you're the last survivor, it is too late then to say, maybe I should leave now. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you guys. If you like living under treacherous and criminal type activities, guys, hey, I say stay there. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said, hey, not everybody needs to come to Africa. There are some that are doing nothing in America, and when it comes to Africa, they're not going to do anything here. And so again, to that individual, I said to each his own, and we don't went past trying to convince everybody to come. You know what I'm saying? On our channel, we don't think everybody should come. You know what I'm saying? They should come for a visit, but they should not stay. You know what I'm saying? Find out what's fact from fiction. So we feel that those people that say, hey, my ancestors were tortured in the building this place, and I'm going to stay here and rot and suffer the rest of my life, and that's the way it's going to be. Hey, hallelujah. More power to you, brother.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think everybody should go. I'm with you 100% because like I said, for me, it's like I look at the continent when I get there, and I guess I think more entrepreneur mindset. I see, like you said, it's so wide open for an entrepreneur. So I would say that if you have that entrepreneurial spirit as a Black American, the continent is wide open, like you said, for you. It's completely wide open because it's like you literally gonna sit there and your mind gonna start clicking like what could be done, like real quick. And maybe you can also tell some people, and I talk. Well, I actually got a podcast talking about this too coming up. People always ask this question: where can I get a job? Let's say in the Gambia. What's your response to that question?
Well, I can say now, if you're coming from America and it's been so long since I've had a job, but I don't know what the minimum wage is. Let's just say the minimum wage is $30 an hour, okay? I don't know. I'm just throwing this out here. Let's say the minimum wage is $30 an hour. Now, you're leaving America where the minimum wage is, per se, $30 an hour. When you come to the Gambia, the pay rate is $40 a month. So when you step onto the African continent and Gambia per se, you're not going to make that $30 an hour over here. You're going to make $40 a month. So do you want to come over here and say, wow, you know, my mentality is I can't wait to find me a job. I'm going to do so many things with that $40 a month. Or do you say, hey, I want to come over here and create an opportunity where the sky is the limit and I can make as much money as I want and help as many people on the continent as desirable. And so we say, when you come here, create jobs. Don't look to have a job, create jobs. Now, when we were in America, America saturated with business. Now, I kept getting, you know, fired from different jobs and stuff because I was too professional, I was too strong, or I upset certain people because my voice was too proud. You know, you might be able to relate to that. But anyway, we developed this cleaning business and it was saturated, but still we were able to pound out enough clientele where we were creating a substantial amount of income. And the most income we generated in 1 month of a business that we started for about what, $30 was $16,000 and some odd dollars in 1 month. That's the most we grossed. Now, when we come over here to the Gambia, now we want to do that as a side business. But there are so many other profitable avenues of income. So many that right now we're working on a multi-million, perhaps even $billion company right now. Black Acres of the Gambia. Now, I'm not going to, she said I talk too much sometimes about money, and I'm not going to throw any figures out there, but this is what we're working on right now is easily a multi-million-dollar business, if not billions. And that is something to think about when you're coming from America and you're struggling and hitting that glass ceiling and you're like, man, pulling your hair out, not knowing what to do. Man, you come over here, you're going to see, hey, I can really use my talents.
Skills bring them.
Exactly.
Bring them,
for my benefit and the continent as well, versus wasting all our time and energy on somebody that can care less and want to torture us.
Yeah, see. Speaking about, you know, for me, I don't have that mentality of, you know, a vow of poverty or poverty is honor. I don't believe that way. Cause I remember when I was 10 years old, when I was in my neighborhood, I used to see so much going on. I mean, I never forget that. I looked up to the sky and I said, God, if you ever let me get out of here, I'll never return to this. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to work and do for myself. And thank God I've done, you know, I'm going to say, okay. You know, so I at least my opinion, you started a business here in America, so you already had the skills how to run a business before you got to the Gambia.
Exactly right.
And I tell people, how many businesses?
Everything. I mean, anything that generated a dollar, man. We ran scrap metal. We delivered newspapers. We did flea markets.
Multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing. Worked factory jobs. I mean, man, anything where we could generate a dollar, we were doing it. And so guess what? When we come to the Gambia, all those skills were, I mean, they were like, man, we glad we learned how to do this. Like network marketing. I mean, we built a successful network marketing business in America, but we came to the Gambia and we applied those same principles into building this YouTube deal, and the principles are the same. And so now honestly, YouTube is the most profitable and easiest thing that we've done up to this point in life. And we're like, we can't believe the money we're making. I'm not going to tell you how much, but
no, don't do that. I don't want you to get no haters because you know how it is. Unfortunately, we have a lot of self-hate. Black people start saying, "Hey, I'm making this amount of money. Like, why he making that and I ain't making it?" You know how it is, bro.
What I'm just saying, it's a side income.
Yeah,
it's a side income to back up an income that's going to back up another future income.
But you know, maybe everybody want to do YouTube, but coming over here into Gambia, whatever skills you have, bring it. It exactly. will work here.
But my point is, the more level of incomes that you have, the better off you are. And the more skills and attributes and talents that you have, the better you are at coming here to the Gambia or anywhere else on the African continent and utilizing those skills to develop yourself and develop others. Mm-hmm. So that's the point that I was trying to make, guys. It's not that I was tooting my own horn or bragging. I'm just saying, if we can do it, you can do it.
That's right. And now let me ask you another question. You have acquired land. Now, are you guys Gambian citizens yet?
No, not yet. No, not yet. We've been in the Gambia for 4 years, and next year, which will be our 5th year, we will officially apply for citizenship at that time. And so as soon as we are granted citizenship, you'll see the video. Stay tuned.
All right, so they allow dual citizenship in the Gambia?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So on land,
okay, go ahead.
So when it comes to land, how much is land running?
That's a question everybody wants to know, and it's impossible to give you one exact answer because there are a lot of variables to be considered. Do you want to stay by the ocean?
Okay, let me throw scenarios at you. Okay. Land close to the city. What is that running?
That is higher.
It's very high.
Now that in the city, just like every place else, you know, there are more jobs, so there's an influx of people, and so the price goes up because there's a shortage. Whereas in the rural areas, it's an abundance of land, not much jobs, so land is cheaper. But babe, what was the quote that guy gave us on land? Because see, now we didn't come here with the mindset of buying a little small plot of land, like a 20 by 50 or 30 by 10. We came here to buy some hectares and develop something of a miniature city. So it's hard for us to say this is what the price is for land because we didn't look to come here to just build our little compound on a little half of an acre, you know.
Probably a 25 by 25 runs about maybe 300.
300 what, sweet?
Dalasi. Between 200 to 300 Dalasi.
No, it's more than 300 Dalasi.
I mean 300,000.
300,000. Okay, that's about $5 to $7 grand.
Yeah, it's and you probably can find something a little cheaper than that.
Right.
It all depends on who you're dealing with too, because everybody is different. I mean, they sell their plots different. It's not one set price.
Right. And we advise people deal with the owner. Cut out the middleman. You know, we had a scenario where we were dealing with a middleman. He had upped the price and he was scamming both sides. He was scamming us for a higher price and he was paying the owner a lower price. So deal directly with the owner and cut out the middleman, these real estate companies or these agents that are coming in and infusing themselves and saying, I can help you to buy land. That's the middleman. So if you
everybody knows somebody who's
selling land. So that's a scam. Just deal directly with the owner. Now, I did offer to purchase a large piece of land, and I was going to sell the plots for 5 times the value, and people didn't like that idea, so I just squashed it.
Oh, man, that's capitalism. Hey, listen, people can say they want, oh, like capitalism, but capitalism make the world go around. You buy something, you sell it at a higher price, you make a profit. Then if you were smart, you went on and take that profit, buy more land, do the same thing, and you're flipping your money.
Right. Well, I was being upfront. I said, I'm going to charge you 5 times the value. You know, some people said I'm in. Some said, no, not that much.
The only mistake you made was talking. That's the mistake you made. You don't supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to do it.
No, I try to be upfront.
That's what wifey came in there and said you was telling the plans.
Exactly. Right. You're right.
My wife get on me too about certain things. Say, hey, do this. Listen, that's why I say the wives are good at keeping us in line. But
that's right.
them Chinese come in, and them Lebanese and Indians and white folk, they come in doing the exact same thing.
Yep,
they are here.
And okay, and they there. Now let me ask you a question about that. You say they're there.
Yeah.
And I've heard other YouTubers say this, but I'm asking this from you. Do they have any kind of respect for the Gambian people when you see these Chinese and Indians and etc. come in?
Absolutely not.
No, because I see, let's say if I go into the store and and it's mostly the Indian store, they will call me ma'am and call them boy. Come here, boy. Or excuse me, ma'am. And I look at it and I get angry and I try to ignore them. And I said, one day I was talking to one of the Gambian workers. And I was like, do you guys like the way they talk to you like that? And, some of them will just ignore me, or some of them will say, no, I don't like it. And I'm like, well, you don't have to accept stuff like that.
Right.
You're not a boy. You're a grown man. And I didn't like it. I mean, don't call me ma'am and then call him boy.
Right. Well, I don't think they have any respect for any person melanated. And the only reason that they treat us different,
because we're from over.
No, is when they hear what comes out of our mouth.
Right. They know we're American.
Yeah. When they do something, we'll check them right there on the spot. And we did this in America, so it ain't like we came over here and all of a sudden became super sweet juicy mama and super sweet daddy. We was doing this in America. You know what I'm saying? If they came incorrect, we step to them. You know what I'm saying? If you let that pass, they think that behavior is acceptable. And we let them know that was unacceptable. And then they always buckle down, because that's how supremacy work. You got to accept those conditions. Now, if you reject it and refuse to accept it, then it has a problem. It loses its strength, okay? And strength are in numbers. So if all of us reject that propaganda, it has a problem.
Right. So, and I've heard this before from other brothers and sisters that went to different African nations. Is that they say that them other groups will respect us, but would not respect them whatsoever. It's like, well, so they afraid that we're going to do something to them, or what are they? You think they're afraid of us for some reason?
What we like to think of is that coming from America, and this might come as a shock to you, the rest of the world looks up to us. And they actually think that we are the champions of the world. We are the fighters. We fight back.
Right.
You understand? When a British lady told me this, I said, man, what are you talking about? We're getting our butt kicked in America. She said, no, you guys fight back. In comparison to us in the UK, we don't have a Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey. I mean, it's just, hey, why we all can't get along? So when you see us rioting in America and fighting back and Black Panthers and stuff, the rest of the world is taking notice, saying, hey, what's going on? And so when we come over here, the people don't know until you open your mouth and say, whoa, hey, you're one of the fighters and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, I believe that's why we get treated differently. A little short story. I was driving into the gas station, and this devil was standing there. So I tooted the horn, and I was like, I'm trying to pull in and get some gas. And so the guy, he wouldn't get out the way. So bam, hey, I came on in there, and he turned around and what did he say?
He called you a.
He said, whatever. I said, hey, you're the one. I'm trying to pull in the gas. I gave you courtesy to try to pull in and get some gas. If you didn't get out the way, hey, that's on you. It's on you. So anyway, I got my gas, and when he heard my response to his comments, he just got the hell on out the way. He dropped off. Just walked the hell on off. Now, if I came out and said, excuse me, master, I'm sorry, did I hurt you? Is we hurt? It'd have been a whole different story then.
Yeah, it's like I remember my first trip when this was Ethiopia, and I had a one of those I think I had one of those vintage Black Panther Party shirts on, right? And I had it on. And when I was in Addis Ababa with the shirt on, they had this Mzungu woman was walking by, and she saw that logo on that shirt. You should have seen, like, she got petrified when she saw that logo on that shirt. Like, she knew what that logo was. She was like, oh my God, that's not an Ethiopian or African. I know that much. And then I walked into the other part of the restaurant. They saw that logo on my shirt, and they had the same look, like they was afraid. I'm like, what in the hell is this? It's like they were like, oh my God, the Black Americans are coming now. Oh my God.
Yeah,
like they was just petrified of us showing up.
That's right.
That's how they do over here. They take a second look.
That's right. When they hear our voice, like we go out and we do our thing and we talking and showing affection, and you should see how they snap that head around like the Exorcist. If you ever saw the Exorcist when she turned her head around on that bed, oh my God, when they hear our voice, they snap that neck around and stuff, and they look. And I look,
wow.
hey, I've trained myself to give direct eye-to-eye contact. And I've trained myself that when I shake your hand, if I have to shake your hand, I'm going to give you a firm handshake and you're going to feel the vice. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, a lot of people are like, hey, whoa, you're not from here. But that's what we want to teach. That's what we want to teach at Black Acres of the Gambia. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to accept derogatory status from inferior people.
Right. And from what I'm thinking, man, it just maybe I'm just thinking a little different. I think that we need to go to the continent and set up schools, like re-education schools. Like, in other words, educate them. Now, not say they don't know anything. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be offensive to them. But I'm saying educate them on who they are and what we are as a people, and not allow none of these other groups to come and disrespect you like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, when I get to the continent, I'm more like that than I am here. Like, I'm like that here too. That's how I wish you would when I'm over here. I wish you do it in front of me too. Because you can't call 911 in Africa. You can't call them. So please do something.
Now your audio, I don't know if it's raining there or what have you, but your audio is kind of coming in and out, and it didn't come across clear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, now I was saying that when I get over there, more so than I am here. Like I said, I'm like that here too. I was saying, I wish you would. I wish you would, especially in the continent, because they can't call 911.
Yeah, exactly right. And that happens. And as a matter of fact, now, we find some people, not all, we find some people that have more of a tolerance and a preference for devils than us. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, hey, guy, we're Africans. I mean, we didn't actually volunteer to leave if we fell into that category that got captured. Now, if we fell into the category that voluntarily left, then, so be it. But we're still African. Now, you're going to accept this devil.
Urugu.
Okay, Urugu. I'm sorry. Thank you, babe. You're going to accept them over me and consider them more of an African than me? You're suspect. And I just
okay. So basically what you're saying is, what I like to say, you ran into the Africoon.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, hey, Africoons exist. And like I said, I got to see it too with some of them. And like I said, but see, I call you out though. I'm not gonna sit up there and put up with it. But okay, so they will sit up there and prefer the Mzungu over their own brother, and these people just treat them bad, doing all kind of crap to them. So I think Dynasty Mir, shout out to him. He told me a story that one of the Africoons tried to get into it with him about a Mzungu in one of them countries. Wow. I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, there's a profound love for them here on the continent, just like in America, just like elsewhere. They're suffering from some type of a mental condition where they just got a love for the oppressor.
And you know what? Them kind of people, I don't care if they're here in America or they're over there. I have no love for them. I think you're a waste of time and a waste of space. And you need to get out of the way.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about them.
Exactly.
Because you need to cut our throat.
They'll take you out quicker than Mr. Charlie.
Exactly. Like I said, matter of fact, you can't even work for me thinking like that. You think like that, you gotta go. Right. You can't be around me.
Yeah, exactly right. Now we had some work done out at Black Acres of the Gambia where we had contracted some guys to come in and kind of like burn the grass to make sure no snakes are in there before we started developing. And the guy kind of hit us, and we videotape everything. And the guy said, "Oh, we got to watch the fire. We might burn the white man's house." Don't that sound like America? We might burn Master's house. This is what the brother said. Now he's on my payroll. He said, "Oh, we got to watch how the fire, because if the fire goes in the wrong direction, it might burn the white man's house." I said, "What about the black man's house? Don't my house count?" And he had to come to reality, like, wow, I really look just like an African coon right there. Just like that. So I was like, wow, yeah, it's an abundance over here now. Not all, but it's an abundance. I mean, we've had several people that say, "Hey, we want to go back up under the British."
Yeah,
and we like, wait a minute, there might be a language barrier. Please say that again, but slower. He said, "Yes, we would like to go back up under the British, the Commonwealth, or whatever they call that. We want to go back up under that. We don't like freedom out here to grow our own food and create our own jobs and all this stuff. No, we want to go right back up under massa." I said, wow, that was the last time I talked to that person.
Man, that is crazy that you have a mindset that you rather be subjugated than to be free.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, they told us we were lucky.
Oh yeah, tell them that story.
Yeah, they told us we was lucky that we was taken from here and taken to America
and raped and tortured and enslaved and experimented on. They said we were lucky that we didn't stay here on the African continent and to be free, to be prosecuted, and a prisoner of war in America is a benefit. That's what they. That's how they felt.
A few people told us that.
That's how they feel. Yeah,
and
we talk to everybody. I mean, we.
You know what? And them kind of black folks you talking about, it's the prime black immigrant that America let in. Because that's the black immigrants they want. The ones that say, "Oh my God, I love massa." Then when they get over here in America, you black Americans are lazy. That's the ones they want. They don't want the black, they don't want the African that come in and want to stand up and fight for themselves.
There you go.
That's the ones they want.
That's right.
You're right.
Yeah. Now, Phil, being a man of travel like you are, can I ask you one question? You're interviewing us, but I'd like to ask you a question to get some insight.
Sure.
What are your views on us in the diaspora, specifically America, vacating there and coming to Africa in the droves, in large numbers? And in the same token, Africans on the continent trying to escape here and go into America and replace us. What are your views on that scenario or that paradox?
Well, let's start on the Africans. A lot of them just don't understand the value of what they have. Okay. And so they think it's better in the West and they don't know no better. But at the end of the day, what they call them Gambian or Nigerian, whatever, at the end of the day in this country, you're a nigger. And they're going to let you know that. You going to be a nigger with an accent or a nigger from wherever you from, you're still a nigger, period. They will kill you here. And some of them have found out the hard way. Some of them, there was a Gambian that was actually killed by the police, a month ago?
We point that out to them.
There you go. So don't think you are now black Americans coming here. We come with an advantage, and then most black Americans that don't even think like that. Your dollar is going to go 3 to 5 times more than the currencies that you will go up underneath, right? And if you have an entrepreneur mindset to create a business, like I told black folks many times, we can rebuild Black Wall Street right there easily.
Right.
You know that by being in the Gambia.
Mm-hmm.
If enough of us come in, listen, if you got enough black folks to come in with a couple of thousand, you ain't got to have like $100,000 and willing to put in and work together like they did with Black Wall Street. You could literally have that all over again right there in the African continent easily.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We just got to have the right people with the right mindset to come in and say, "Yeah, I'm willing to do this. Let's go ahead and knock this out."
Right.
And agree with you. Do what?
I say I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So if we create if we come in, we're gonna create businesses, right? I'm talking about that group of people. They will hire the local people. So if enough of us come in, enough of us create schools, enough of us create hospitals. I mean, everything that we need to nation build, right?
Right.
They wouldn't want to go back because it's going to change. It's like, listen, people on the continent, I know you heard this. They like to tell a story, but don't tell the full story. Talking about, oh well, if too many, because some of them get concerned too, and too many of us want to start showing us. So you remember Liberia? Well, Liberia, if you look at it and understand the history of Liberia, our ancestors had set up Liberia, even part of the Liberian constitution, where no one outside of black can own land, right? When the so-called Americos, which is our ancestors, ran Liberia, Liberia was the jewel of West Africa.
Right.
Up until the quote unquote, like the Civil War, which was influenced by the Mzungus. Okay. And then after the Americos lost power, it haven't been the jewel of West Africa anymore. Let's call it what it is.
That's right. Exactly right.
Exactly right. So for us, I think that would be better for us. And actually, that would even disrupt the American economy if enough of us would leave.
Exactly right. And that's what the legislation and all the scenarios and covert ops is all about, to prevent that mass exodus. Now, what we're fortunate about is our Black Acres of the YouTube channel is attracting ex-military. Right. So there's an abundance of ex-military that are now coming to the Gambia who's highly trained, have resources, have technical skills and know-how, are coming to the Gambia to replicate, duplicate, or join what we're doing. And so I foresee an explosion coming out of Gambia within the next few years because of those ex-military people, Navy, Army, Marines. They're all coming to the Gambia and stuff for some reason or another.
They're tired
they're tired and they're fixating on coming to Gambia. And so some positive things about to happen here. There might be a little conflict, temporary, but in the long run, we're all going to benefit, and we're going to see multiple Black Wall Streets or African Wall Streets just spring up all over the continent. Kenya, Nigeria, Gambia, Ghana, Ethiopia, all over.
But brother, I gotta talk about something here, and we all got to talk about this one. And I've covered this and all about these Mzungus going to do holiday in Gambia and targeting children. How are we gonna put a stop to that?
Well, if you can read between the lines, there's a bunch of military people that are coming here. We're highly trained, highly skilled. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are expert in weaponry, and we'll handle business.
I think the government needs to step in too.
Yes, because why is it is there any laws on the books? I'm pretty sure that's a law on the book, right? About against.
Yeah,
it's here.
Yeah, but
so what about the enforcement?
Well,
you don't see it.
Gambia, as well as the Africa, is a rich country, but it allows itself to be exploited by poor countries. And when that is the scenario, those dollars and pounds and francs and all that stuff can come in and work miracles.
Yes.
So, not saying that we witness it, but it is what it is. When those dollars come in, certain people just turn their cheek and act like they haven't seen a thing. You know what I'm saying? So sexual tourism is here. Yes, it is. Can I prove it? No, I can't. But I can tell you one thing. In America, there is no love for us from those people. All of a sudden, when they come to the continent, they're so in love with us, especially the little children. Now, they hang us and use us as alligator bait in America. You know what I'm saying? It's on the records. But when they come over here, it's like, hey, little Lamine is my best friend. I'm gonna teach him how to play soccer. I'm gonna teach him how to drive. He can sit in my lap and steer the car and stuff. You see all this and stuff. And so, for you to run out there and say, hey, what is going on and stuff, you come across as the bad guy. You're disrupting somebody's income. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you just kind of got to, develop the avenue or your approach. How do you deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Now, if there's a distress call, definitely I get involved and I just suffer the consequences. But when you don't see that and you see a parent with them condoning this or ignoring it, You know, you got to figure out which battle
and it's sad.
you wanna fight.
It's very sad. We had one here, I believe, maybe last year.
Okay.
The brother had about maybe 10 kids.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they were his kids in the car with him, and someone stopped and said he was a child molester. Now he's an African, the kids are all African, and they actually got on him and they beat him really bad.
Right.
Beat him real bad, burnt his car up. He had to go in the hospital for that.
Yeah.
Now when you see a white man here with maybe 4 or 5 little kids
playing with, I'm just fondling them. I'm just
the other
so
Africans doesn't say anything. Yeah. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
We saw this with our own eyes.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you walked up to the police and say, hey, I know he over there doing, I don't like him with them kids, get him away from them kids, what would the police say?
Where's your proof?
Yes.
We are the smiling coast of the Gambia. That ain't tolerated here. If you don't have any proof, that's just speculation. We can go and talk to the parents, and if the parents say, "Hey, ain't nothing going on here," hey, they
see it too.
Yeah,
because you see it every day, all day.
Right.
When you're walking down the street, you may see an old gentleman with maybe a
little young girl,
13-year-old.
Yeah.
Just sitting there talking to her. They see it too. They don't go up and question them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why, but I know they see it.
Yeah. That pedophile stuff is big over here. We're not behind closed doors, but again, we know how other people act with us in America. And so you want to come over here and change your color all of a sudden and adapt a new strategy where you're so in love and you honor and protect little children. We don't buy it. We don't buy it.
So because most Black Americans, including myself, I see something like that, I gotta react. Like I said, look, I'm like, what? How much is he paying you? Look, I'll give you some money. Get that man away from your kids if it's that big of a deal to you.
Exactly right.
You get what I'm saying? Hey, look, could you pay the police to go over there and say, hey, police, I'll give you some money. Could you go over there and get him away? I mean, shoot, is it like that? Because some countries it is like that. We can pay the police and say, oh yeah, shoot, we'll get him. No problem.
Oh yeah.
It probably will work then.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, you just gotta outbid him. You gotta outbid him. Now under the former president, if you got caught doing some stuff like that, man, hey, you lucky if you survived.
Yeah.
You definitely was going to jail, and you definitely was going to get deported if you survived. Now under this, what's going on right now? We just hit a story.
So you mean under Jammeh?
Yeah, under Jammeh, yeah.
Jammeh, yeah, because the certain thing Jammeh didn't play. I knew that because I seen an interview with him. He was talking about the LGBTQ. He like, look, you come to Gambia with that, I'm cutting your throat. That's what Jammeh. I like, whoa.
Say that.
He did.
And we had a story where the guy, he was doing some work for us. He said one guy, another white guy approached him.
Homosexual.
Took him to his house and put on a video. And it was a
pornographic
homosexual video. And he jumped up and he said he's going to tell the police. They went and got the police.
Yep.
They took that guy, put him in jail, but they actually shipped him out of the country.
Shipped him back to Germany.
Yep.
And so now you can kind of see the behavior out there now. Again, you don't have proof, but when you're coming from America and you've witnessed certain things a majority of your life, you can see that you can see the exact same behavior, and you know what that is.
Yep.
And so here, when you try to, hey, guy, let me tell you what's going on. They don't want to hear that.
Oh no, we love each other.
Yeah, we love each other. We don't, just because you're hateful and coming from America,
don't leave
that over there. Don't bring that here.
Oh, so some of them will say that y'all being hateful by actually stopping this Mzungu from sitting up here doing something he shouldn't, even when they on publications that said that's what they're doing.
That's right.
Like the guy out the UK, they're telling you that's exactly what they're going down there to do.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I mean, you see people like 80 and 90 in wheelchairs with 13 and 14-year-olds and all hooked up and kiss on them and stuff. And I was like, whew, let me just go the other way. In a quick story, I'm a firm believer you have to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, of course.
In order to win the war. and I saw this beautiful sister walking down the street, and she was with this Arab boy, and he was just fondling her butt in public. If that was a black African man in an Arab country, he would have been killed right on the spot. And I had to struggle with myself not to slam on brakes and get out and give him a whole can of whoop ass. But you know what? I just refrained and I just kept driving on because the African men were looking at it and they were smiling like that was all acceptable. You know, that was one of my more traumatic experiences here.
Sound like definitely got some work to do, some lobbying to do with that particular government. Like I didn't see that. Like, see, at least in Ethiopia, I didn't see that. Kenya, I was in Nairobi, and at least where I was at Mombasa, I know it's another part of, Mombasa. They say they try to pull that mess. I say they couldn't pull it in front of me because, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I get this energy like you. But I remember even when I was in Nairobi at the hotel, you had this Mzungu trying to go after this Kenyan girl, but she looked young, but she's not underage. And I just stared at him. I just mean mugged him the whole time. I just stared at him. I looked at her. I stared, man. He got so uncomfortable. He left.
Yeah,
and
right.
Like, if he wouldn't have left, brother, I was gonna go up to that young girl sister. And I'm like, look, how much money you need? You need some money? I'll give it to you to get away from. Don't be around that nasty looking man, looking like a human petri dish. All the different colors he was.
Yeah, it's here.
Exactly. Same here.
It's here.
Horrible looking.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Yeah. And we see them all in court divorcing, and just it's not
crazy,
a pretty sight.
yeah.
Not a pretty sight at all.
But like I say, hey, we got to talk about the good, the great, the bad, and the in between, because you can't fix problems without having that discussion. You can't.
Right.
It's reality.
And it's not a disrespect. We got to just talk about that because, like you said, there are certain groups over there that want to keep that quiet. Like the whole world know already. So let's just go ahead on and just try to end that. And you say the brothers are showing up who's ex-military. So, they'll help clean that up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. And it's abundance now. It's abundance coming.
You can't keep it quiet when it's out there. It's there.
Since COVID and all the borders are shut down, that's been clamped down too, right?
The borders are closed. No flights are going in and out, but you can do as you please here.
But you still got a bunch of them running around.
Yes.
Here, trying to blend in.
Oh, they live there.
Yeah, they're here. It's an abundance of them that come here and they're retired or on some type of disability. And again, that pound and dollars. Now, this is not exclusive to just the UK. We got some coming in here from America.
Oh yeah.
And their skin is the same color as ours. And they're indulging in that type of behavior too.
Oh, you talking about Negroes from America doing it too?
Yeah.
Oh, now they know they know better because in Black America, we don't play that.
Well,
but they're not messing with the younger.
We don't know.
That we know.
We don't know, but that sexual tourism is going on with them.
Yeah. Oh, that's my thing with that. If y'all are consenting adults, they should be. This has nothing to do with me. I'm talking about with children. That's my thing. To me, you need to be dealing with Jammeh, that type of leader.
Right.
And didn't he want to come back to the Gambia?
One more time.
Didn't he say he wanted to come back to the Gambia?
Yes, he did.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yes, he did. But they won't allow that. And this is my criteria. Whenever America hates a black man, that is a good black man.
Yep.
If they love a black man, that is the bad black man.
Right. So John may need to come back to his country and get involved. Then that's what it sounds like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when we first moved here, we didn't see any burglars.
No burglars. Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
The day he left office, I believe.
2 break-ins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. Them folks wanted that brother out of there because he was running his.
Now you got two types of groups here. One group says, "Oh, he was a tyrant and he was bad and he was doing this and that," and the other people love him. And again, the criteria I look for is how did America view him? And America despised him. So I already told you the criteria I use. If they hate you, you're a good man. If they love you, you're bad for your people.
Yeah, that's what Malcolm X has said. The exact same thing.
Right.
That's
You know.
exactly
Right.
what it was.
Yeah, run. He said, run to the ones that they hate, and run away from the ones they love.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
So Rick and Cynthia, could you tell people, a little bit like how to get to your channel and anything that you have going on before we wrap up?
Go ahead, sweet mama.
Yeah, we're Black Acres of the Gambia on YouTube. Just type in there, or you can go to, we have our email, usumbuducynthia@gmail.com.
Right.
Once you type that in, Black Acres would pop up too. So
Right.
we're there.
And Black Acres of the Gambia, guys, in a nutshell, it's a huge estate that if you're coming to the African continent and you're not quite sure where you want to go, you can come there as a temporary spot for employment and lodging. And if you want to stay there, then fine and dandy until you find your own land to build your own compound. Now, let's say, for example, you don't want to stay in the Gambia. You want to go to Kenya or Ghana. You're at least on the African continent. And so transition and movement around the continent is a lot easier than flying from America or the UK, then coming to the continent, then trying to move around. So let me say that again. At Black Acres of the Gambia, there's employment and a place to stay until you decide where you want to go on the African continent. Okay? And so we figure everybody should subscribe to our channel. You don't have to necessarily like our personalities, but look at what we're trying to do. We're trying to extend what Marcus Garvey tried to do. We're saying, hey, we're the sequel. We have made it to the African continent. And his vision was all the ones that want to follow behind us and do something on the African continent, you can follow in our footsteps. We're making it easier for you. You don't have to come over here and stumble and fall like we did. So Black Acres of the Gambia, that's what our channel is all about. Food, growing our own food, and creating jobs and stopping all that old importing stuff, foods from the enemies and medicines from the enemy. We want to be able to pinpoint and touch and see how what we digest is where it's coming from.
And keeping the youth home in the Gambia.
And keeping the youth home, no more back way. We don't have to run the places that despise us when the greatest opportunities and resources are right here on the African continent. Stay home.
All right, and definitely, I got to get to the Gambia, brother, and so I can definitely see, what business opportunities is out there in the Gambia. Just kind of look around and see, because like I always say, we need to go in and try to invest as much as possible. Like I say, here at home for sure, and definitely on the continent. So brother and sister, it was definitely great for you guys talking today. We definitely picked up a lot. What's going on in the Gambia, from y'all, and we definitely would like to keep in touch with y'all, find out what's going on. So we definitely have more contacts on the continent.